We need to talk about a story that I heard just yesterday. It's one of these things that I don't generally tend to speak on, but it's a subject that was so crazy, it's like I have to make a video on this. So it's a story about a girl who makes content of a specific nature, you guys already know, and she's made over $40 million, I believe, in just a single year. $40 million. That is a ridiculous amount of money, full stop, right? We need to have a discussion about this because this is today's world. Now, first things first, let's have a speak about, in terms of earnings, what $40 million is. That's more than a lot of people. It's more than most CEOs will make. It's more than most celebrities, to be fair, will even make in a single year. This girl's making a lot of money by making, well, you guys already know what sort of content. And it's funny because when I hear about subjects like this, a lot of people like to blame these girls. And of course, in a lot of ways, it is a terrible trend. This is a sort of thing which I think is negatively impacting society as a whole. At the same time, $40 million, all I'm thinking is, that's what she's made in sales. If you guys are watching for the first time, I'm a business person myself. So all I'm hearing is, she is making money through a business. Which means that she has clients to the tune of $40 million. And this is really, really big when we talk about a subject like this, because we're getting now into a topic of what is going on. Obviously, people who make content like this, it's their choice, do what you want. I've got nothing explicitly against it. At the same time, I personally don't think it is a good thing for society. I don't think it spreads a good message. However, this is setting a dangerous precedent on both sides, for men and for women, because a lot of people on both ends are going to hear this and think, what does this mean? If I was a woman who could capitalise upon a market like this so easily, you get to numbers like 40 million, and now we're talking about a completely different game. It's even possible, because I've seen this before, in the real world, for your average girl, and I'm talking about the average person that you might just know, to be making upwards of a couple of $1,000s a month on these sites. And obviously, come to it, right? Come to the world that we're in right now. Nobody really wants to work. Nobody wants to do that sort of stuff. If it could be a sort of situation where you're thinking, right, I could probably make a couple of £1,000, dollars, euros a month for doing such a relatively simple job, who's not going to do that? And you know what's funny? It happens every time, and it almost works every time. The amount of times a thing like this works, obviously not to the tune of 40 million, but maybe a couple of hundred or thousand a month. This is more common than you guys would think. So I completely understand why so many girls or women turn to this as a potential business idea, or a potential idea to make some easy money, because it is going to be easy money. And by the way, guys, we talk about numbers like $40 million. This is where the game changes in my eyes. Because people who make a couple thousand, very, very possibly, down the road, they're going to be in trouble. Their reputation may be ruined, their career prospects might be ruined, and obviously as their user base starts to dry up, it may be negative for them. When someone's making 40 million a year, it's entirely possible that this person could become 100 million net worth in a year, by next year, right? Because even if she has the same growth as what she's had this year, or maintains the same fan base, user base, whatever, if she has any growth, she could have potentially $100 million net worth in the next year or two. Not impossible to think of at all. That's like generational wealth. That really is. And this is the world that we live in today, so I understand why so many women go down this path. On the same note, this is equally worrying, if not more worrying, to what it means for men. Because a lot of people like to blame a woman like this. It's her business, right? I don't necessarily approve of it that much, but it's her business. I don't care what she does at all, to be fair. Why do we have, however, it's going to be hundreds of thousands, I don't know the exact figures, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of men, who are willing to pay for this sort of stuff? Obviously, there are a number of reasons for it. It feels like, or seems like, social connections are absolutely just not what they used to be. And more guys are more lonely. At the same time, paying for this sort of content is something that I've personally never understood. At the same time, let's be honest, is not good for anybody. This content is not good for anybody. It doesn't make sense. It's not helpful for us, for you, for me, and for the creators. And the only reason why I think so many people, mainly women, go down this sort of path is because it's such a viable option. You guys, my fellow young men specifically, it's usually young men, we are creating this problem, right? Yes, people are doing it, but at the same time, if there was no audience, either less people would do it, or it would be less of a story. I can't even lie. You hear a number like 40 million made in a year, and even if you're your average person, you might think, well, she's made 40 million. I'm quite average looking. What might I make? A few 100,000? It's very, very common when you go on the internet. So yes, maybe it is an internet echo chamber. But for people, average men, to be fair, and women, mainly women, average looking people, to be making hundreds of thousands. This is the modern world. These people are making more money than other social media influencers who provide decent to good value. TV stars, movie stars, film stars, whatever. The guy working in the street. And like I say, I'm not going to even blame them entirely. Because this is the modern world. This is economics. This is capitalism. You provide a service that people pay for, you make money. You provide a service that people don't pay for, you don't make money. You might make a loss. In this case, it might be a loss of your reputation, or whatever you want to say it as, or see it as. This is just crazy. And I think we need to draw more attention to stories like this. Because it's stories like this which send people down these sorts of paths. And wrongly or rightly, this is a kind of story which just absolutely shocked me. Because what happens when we hear stories like this is that we have a message which gets pushed into society. Naturally. Because in a lot of ways, it seems like the smartest move. It seems like the easiest move. Let's just think about most people out there. I know a lot of people would say no. But if you could say there's a high likelihood of you simply making some pictures or videos and it's going to make you a millionaire or a multimillionaire or a generational millionaire, like I say, get to the point where we're talking 30, 40, 50 plus million a year, even if that only continues for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even if it ends now, that person could easily live off investments and all that sort of stuff. How many people are going to say, or at least consider this as an option? The real thing that we need to think about is why is something like this so popular? Why? Why is it? I don't even know the answer. In a lot of my videos I try and give a solution. This is just one way I share an opinion and share a story which really interested me because I've never heard of anything this extreme before. And again, I actually don't blame the girl for taking this opportunity. Why not? She's made a fortune. If she's happy with the consequences that may come with that, not my business. I'm not judging her at all. Her place. But this is, I would say, a dangerous precedent for a lot of things if we think about it. How many young people, young girls, are going to sit there thinking, right, this is an opportunity for the future? How many of them are going to fail on that and have the consequences that come with that? How many of them are going to succeed for a bit and then have the consequences that come with the sort of stuff that they've created? And how do we have so many young men, mainly young men, because it mainly is, which are willing to pay for this? In a lot of ways, our society, especially on fronts like this, appears to be deeply broken, and we need to be having a bit of a discussion about this. Crazy world that we're living in, guys. Just wanted to share this story that I heard about. You know, I've got nothing really to say on it apart from that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is it a good thing, bad thing? Should we be worried about this? What does it mean? What does it actually mean? I want you guys to help me to make sense of a story like this, because I simply don't get it.